Some folks cut and run if they're not ahead, and they leave behind a trail of broken hearts. But if there's one thing that I've learned, it's nothing's over till you're dead. At the end of the road is where the real journey starts. And when I die, there'll be nothing for to cry. When I'm gone, no reason to be blue. There'll be nothing left behind and nothing left to do. I'm gonna do it all as I go passing through. I wanna do it all as I go passing through.
Have you heard the story of the walking man?
And his trek of over 1,500 miles.
Let's explain that just sound like
What would make a man embark
on a journey filled with challenges and trials?
There's dance walking and days walking, high walking and craze walking, walking when you're lost inside a dream.
Sing it, boy.
There's beauty and there's bliss walking, there's man I gotta piss walking, and walking where you simply stand and scream. There's burn walking and pain walking, and I might go insane walking when every bone and joint wants to explode. But when I can't take more walking, there's fury, hate, and war walking to keep me walking further down the road. And when I die, there'll be nothing for to cry. When I'm gone, no reason to be blue. There'll be nothing left behind and nothing left to do. I'm gonna do it all as I go passing through. I wanna do it all as I go passing through.
Sounds like a chump.
Or obsessed with Forrest Gump.
Or maybe there's something that he knows. I keep looking back, I keep thinking about that walking kid who somehow found me. He opened up a door I never knew I closed. Now ever since that day, I can't help seeing all these roads around me.
I've still got unwalked miles left to go, and many a revelation to behold. With every step I take, I learn how much I still don't know. New questions to be answered, new stories to be told. And when I die, I want nothing for to cry. When I'm gone, no reason to be blue. I want nothing left behind and nothing left to do. I'm gonna do it all as I go passing through. Cry for a cry. Nothing left behind and nothing left to do. I'm gonna do it all as I go passing through. I'm gonna do it all as I go passing through.
Hi, everybody. I'm Donna Lynn Hilton, producer for Goodspeed Musicals. I think we're going to have the authors of that fabulous music join us here in just a minute. Yeah, here they come. We'll give them a second to get here. Hi, guys. Okay, I'm going to need someone else to take over while I cry into my wine. Oh, that's so beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing that with us. Just so beautiful. So Brett Ryabck and Eric Ulloa are the writers of Passing Through, the beautiful new musical that premiered at the Terrace last summer. I hope that all of the people listening here tonight got to experience it. If they did not, they missed a huge treat, but they're going to have another opportunity down the road. I know that for sure. So, but thank you guys so much for being with us.
Of course.
It's a pleasure.
Tell us how that piece, that's amazing. So that what we just saw is a piece of one piece of a 5-song concert that was created for an Actors Fund benefit. Tell us about it.
Right, you made it, so you tell it.
Well, Eric, why don't you start at just how it came to be, because that really came from you and Max.
Well, so yeah, we when this first started, the beginning of the pandemic and the beginning more of the kind of shelter in place here in the city and then in other cities, following, people started reaching out, and I was getting messages on Instagram and Twitter and stuff saying, oh my God, I was just thinking about passing through today. Thinking about the message of that show and connection and all that stuff, like just really hit me right now with what's going on and the fact that, America can't be connected like that, but the idea that we still have these connections. And I thought it was becoming usually a message per day. And I was like, how funny that it's really resonating in a whole different way than we ever even imagined. And then Max Chernin, who you just heard with his gorgeous voice playing Andrew, I was telling him this, and he's like, well, why don't we do a concert? And I was like, I think Brett's going to hate that idea because it's a lot of work, but I will throw it his way, but no promises. And then Brett said yes.
Amazing.
Yeah, I mean, when I will say that when I first thought about it, if you watch the whole concert, you'll notice that the songs sort of get progressively larger. Starts out with a couple solos, just me on piano and Max. And then we add some other people, we add some other instruments, and then we get to the big finale, which is what we just played. And I did a lot of research leading up to it to figure out, how do you could we do it live at this, playing music, and which is not easy to do, and was not the right way to do it. So we thought, okay,
but we might do some later.
We might do some later, but then that's different because I'm in the same room as the instrument. It's so anyway, so I thought, okay, well, we'll pre-record some stuff, and then I thought, well, if we're doing it that way, I think we can get some of the instrumentalists involved. And so I reached out to August, our orchestrator, purely because in that last song there was a moment where he plays the mandolin, and that was kind of in the show. The accompaniment was to be the mandolin, and I knew he was a great mandolin player, so I thought, do you want to play a mandolin solo on this song and do a little cameo? And he was like, he ran with it. He was like, no, I want to orchestrate the whole thing. And I was like, okay. So he did that last song. He reorchestrated off of what he had originally done and built it out all in a separate sort of music program. And then we sent it to each of the individual actors and asked them to record themselves on their iPhones or whatever phone they had, singing it. They sent us that. I sent August the audio. He gave me everything mixed together, and then I had to go through each of the videos and sort of put together the video edit. And it didn't take very long at all, and it was actually a lot of fun because it was just great to see the people, see our cast again individually, and then know that oh my God, they're going to get to watch this, and it's going to be really fun. So that was how it all came together.
Well, it's just beautiful, and our members should have gotten an email that included the link to the whole concert, but if somebody missed it, you can Google Playbill Passing Through Quarantine Concert and you'll find it, or reach out to anybody at Goodspeed and we'll put you in the right direction. Because you're right, Eric, it's really not surprising that people are thinking about this show right now, because it's all about, here I go with my Kleenex and my wine again, that piece is all about human connection and the power of human connection. So it's perfectly to be expected that in this moment when we can't connect with one another for real, although we're doing a pretty good job on it, that people are reflecting on their experience with that show. So I hope that people who haven't been able to see that whole concert will find time to go download it and see it, because it's really wonderful. And if they can do so, make a gift to the Actors Fund, which is an incredible organization that helps not only actors but also all artists in our field who need help. So all right, that was wonderful. Thank you so much for sharing that with us. So where are you guys?
I'm in New York.
And I'm in Los Angeles.
Yeah.
And are you both working during all of this?
Yeah. there's, you know, there's,
I'm writing, if that's,
Yeah,
if that's
yeah, that's what I mean. By work, I mean your work writing.
same. You know, it's hard to, I'm not gonna lie, I think at the very beginning, everyone was like, it was, again, the message is saying, oh, I expect your magnum opus of a play coming forward. And I was like, you are asking for a lot. It's tough because you would think that with all this time, you'd want to be just writing and be creative, but it's been tough too. It's tough to put your mind in a place to want to write. It's tough to clear your head of what's happening, because for the first time ever, there are no answers about anything. So we're just kind of, you know, looming. But the days that do click in and writing clicks in, you know, it's been nice to jump onto some new projects. And luckily, you know, fingers crossed, like with writing, that still is going on because people need things to make once this is all over. So the writing world is one of the few parts of the art world that has continued in some respects. You know, my bank account thanks that.
Yeah, I feel a little fortunate because I've been doing writing, but I've been doing a lot of orchestrating, which is a different kind of writing. And because there were some projects that I need to be working on that will be generative, that will be new material. That has been, I think finally I've gotten to a place where I'm able to have the headspace to sort of start to do that. But immediately when everything was starting to shut down in the middle of March, my brain couldn't absorb, because I was trying to just deal with the reality of the world. But because I was orchestrating, that's just a little bit more, it's a different kind of creative process. It's a little more like math. You're sort of putting puzzle pieces together. You've already done the generative side of it. And so that's gotten me through. And it was work that I needed to get done. And, you know, I often feel like so much of my work is spent catching up. And so it was nice that everybody else also stopped, so that I could kind of like, you know, oh great, all right, I can finish this project and then get to the next thing that's on my list.
Yeah.
So
yeah, we found that at Goodspeed too, that this horrible moment has created opportunity for us to do some things that we've wanted to do for a long time, and just, you know, with 6 productions a year, just not had time to do. And we've launched some, I think, really cool and quick initiatives here at the very beginning of all of this. And I'm really proud that our team has been able to focus and, you know, get through the noise of everything that's coming into us, and try to, you know, make some steps that when we're through all this will just make us stronger, I think.
I think that this time is forcing everybody to be innovative, and I think that that's something that artists, when, you know, and creative people, you know, when they're able to focus on, like you said, they're good at that, you know. So I think it is forcing everybody to rise to the occasion of like, okay, what now? You know, I mean, we're all staring at a blank canvas.
Yeah, we are. I'm also curious if a lot of about the music that's going to come out of this moment. You know, it always happens. You know, 9/11 happened, and some beautiful music came, you know, presented itself 6 or 9 or 12 months later. And I'm interested to see what music and storytelling comes out of this moment as well. You know, we have to look ahead. We have to look forward. And as you said it, Eric, when we come out of this, people are going to want work. You know, when it's safe, we're going to want to be together again, and people are going to want to be in our theaters. And we can't stop working. We can't stop the pipeline.
No, we got to write stuff. We got to fill, you know, I mean, we forget that it's across all mediums too. I mean, TV, movies, everything, like everything has stopped. So like we're going to get the, you know, the not so much the all clear, because we all know it's not going to be a hallelujah, we're free. It's not that. We know it's going to be a slow process of opening up. But when we get the all clear for certain things, you know, for TV, film, all those things like that, people are going to need things to produce and film. People are going to need new movies, new TV. If not, we're going to be watching a lot of reruns of a lot of the same things. And theater too, you know, we're going to need new seasons of shows, you know, there's a whole chunk of months now where shows didn't get a chance to do proper workshops or develop. So there's going to be a need for new stuff to get out there, and things that are kind of, you know, some semblance of ready to go.
Right, exactly. Shovel ready, as the Obama administration says.
Yes.
So you guys, what are you going to have shovel ready for us when we come out of this? What are you working on?
Okay, well, am I telling Brett?
Can you tell us?
So
You don't have to if you're not comfortable.
we could say
Yeah,
a
go
little.
for it.
Okay, cone of silence, audience.
Cone of silence.
This is a safe zone. Go ahead.
I will say as much as we can say. So Brett and I started working on a piece of an idea I had a while back that I brought to Brett and I brought to John Tartaglia of Avenue Q fame and has gone on to work with Jim Henson for years now. And it's a new children's kind of one-off, like it'd be like an hour-and-a-half special based on a story that we created with music and lyrics by Brett and the story from both of us. And this piece that we brought to John, he's kind of been shepherding it along with us and really thought that there was something there that would interest the folks over at Jim Henson. So we are about to go take this new piece. It would have been impressive in LA, but that's not happening. So now we're going to take this.
You're about to present now?
We're about to present in the next week to the Jim Henson Company this new show that hopefully they will feel as strong as we do, and hopefully something that they want to produce once we come out of this.
That's fabulous.
It's a brand new show for for kids that I think does what Brett and I always try to do with our work, which is tell a great story, but can we change humanity while telling a story? And I think this piece kind of does that too, in a way. So yeah, we're that's been our collaborative effort, and it's been great just getting to just work together on something again and getting to have those moments where I talk with Brett and he sends me an amazing song that I go, yeah, that's it, you wrote it. You wrote a great song. That hook's amazing. Of course, who doesn't want that?
I don't think he's ever written a not great song. I'm gonna knock wood. I don't want to jinx you. But.
Yeah, exactly. Don't jinx. Yeah,
Well,
so
tell the good people at Henson that we say hello because we've worked with Henson.
Oh yes, correct, from Eminata, right?
Yep. I should interrupt to share that I should have said this early on. If anybody has any questions they want to ask Brett and Eric, you see that little orange chat button that probably just lit up at the bottom of your screen. That is, you can enter your chats in there, your questions into that chat box, and Michael Fling, who's pulling the strings behind the scenes, will let us know. So if you have any questions for these guys about passing through or life as a writer or why they take my calls, you can.
We always take your calls.
So this is only the Henson project is only the second piece you've worked on together, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we've tossed ideas around back and forth, but this is the second thing that we've landed on together. Yeah.
Cool. It's exciting. So what are you working on separately or with other people?
Eric, you want to talk about what you're doing?
Yeah, actually.
Can you talk about what you're doing?
I kind of can. Well, I'm working on one. I can say it's. I apologize to everyone out there because the world of entertainment, man, they got you on some tight contracts. There's only so many words you can say before someone calls you and says, "What the hell did you just say?" So I'm working currently on 2 movies. One is I worked with Alex Sinalaris on the feature film screenplay of Jekyll and Hyde. I was his assistant on that one. And I recently went back into working with him as his assistant again on a brand new movie. That's, I can't say what it is. It's very exciting. But things are obviously have taken a little bit of quiet for a second because of what's going on. And so in the meantime of that, I was actually approached by a producer about taking on my very first film on my own. So it'll, it's a smaller film and an idea they brought to me that we finally found a way that we both kind of came into it. But everything's being worked out, and hopefully next week I will have my butt to the couch sitting on a treatment for my very first film on my own.
That's exciting.
Yeah.
And Brett, what about you?
I have a couple TYA commissions that I have to, commitments that I have to honor, so that I'll start, we were in the development process of the story up until everything hit, and so I have to start writing new songs for that in the next couple weeks for one of them. The other one will take a little bit longer. And then the other thing that I've been working on for a while now is this musical podcast. And we finally, we had joined forces with a couple other writers in LA, and we had joined forces with a production company this past fall, and we finally got our funding, and so we're starting to move forward and hoping to go into production on it as soon as we can gather in small groups again, and potentially even doing some of the recording from people's houses or in people's houses.
Mhm.
That's been the thing that I was orchestrating for the last month or so. And that's really exciting. It's called In Strange Woods, and it's an original story, but it's told as though it's a documentary. But it's musical, and so it's told through interview, narration, and song. And yeah, and I'm really excited about it. It sort of deals with loss and grief and coming of age, and I think that those are things that you know, we're kind of culturally going through as well right now, is sort of a lot of loss and a lot of grief.
Exciting. So wait, do we have any questions, Michael Fling? I see your questions popped in. Let me see. Mary Miko, always curious. Mary Miko is asking, how did you two meet? Knowing with you living on opposite coasts, how did you meet and start to collaborate?
Well, Brett, you were the first part of this, so you tell the story.
Right. So I was working in New York for about a year. I did a show called Murder for Two off Broadway, and at the end of my time there, I was taking meetings with people, and I met with an agent, and I said that I was looking for book writers, and he at the time had represented Eric, and he said, "Hey, I've got this writer who just wrote this play, which was 26 Pebbles, and would you want to meet with him?" And I said, "Sure." And so we got together at Schmackery's in Hell's Kitchen, and Eric, you want to take it from there?
Yeah, no, we both soon found, we were sitting outside, and you know, it's always a good sign when you're sitting outside and like someone walked by, and I was like, "Oh my God, hi!" And then they're like, "Hey, Eric," they're like, "Brett," and I was like, "Wait, you know Brett?" And they were like, "Brett, Eric," and I was like, "Wait, we know the same people. We literally know all the same people." It just felt very, it felt very natural. We both had brought ideas to each other. We both had brought a project we wanted to work on. The one I brought was the impetus for Passing Through, which I've been holding on to for quite some time. And I remember right there between just the friendships that were intermingling there, and also the way Brett took to the material and spoke about it right away. It was pretty clear that, you know, that we should probably pair together and have you know, and to see what was up. And it was obviously a very I'm glad it happened, because a lot of great things have come from it. And, you know, right away, I remember the first thing that Brett did was he went back and I said, you know, what does it sound like when he leaves the house? What's the song? You know, what is it? What gets him on the road? And Brett wrote End of the Road. And that song has never changed from the beginning till tweets. But the main song that he first brought to the table is a song that I would say 90% you're hearing today, and has always really been kind of the anchor of, you know, the piece and getting him out the door. So that's how we met. All just Schmackery's, really. It's all about
It's all
bringing
about,
people together.
it is all about Hell's Kitchen in the show.
yes, really.
All right. I'm going to put these guys on to performing another song. Oh, wait, we have another question. Okay. So after watching your Actors Fund concert, the song De Nuevo from Passing Through got stuck in her head for days. Can you talk about how that song fits into the story as well as the song style?
Yes, I'll talk. We'll both pass off this, but I think one of the things that I'm the most proud of with De Nuevo is actually it is not something that is referenced in the original story of Passing Through. It was something that we felt was an important aspect of the larger story that we were telling. Just in a nutshell, Passing Through is about a guy who walks across America and interacts with all sorts of people along the way, along his journey, and kind of learns lessons from them. And we knew that he was going to be walking through the desert near the Mexico-US border. And because Eric is Cuban American and I am married to a Guatemalan, we felt like the Latino experience in the U.S. was something that we wanted to talk about and honor, and immigration has always been a part of our story in the U.S. And of course, it's become even more hotbed in the last, this current administration. And so, so Eric, do you want to take it from there?
No, I mean that's we knew that there's a couple of moments in the show where we call it travel moments, where it's not necessarily about a moment of Andrew meeting someone. It's almost like he does, but it becomes a travel piece. So we have to get across the country. It's a lot of mileage, and you have 2.5 hours to do it before the audience wants to kill you. So we decided that to get through chunks of country, we should use some moments that reflect issues that the country is still dealing with. One being, we have some female inmates, and I think one being with like incarceration and a female perspective on that and what is happening in the jail system in general. And it's this beautiful moment of these 3 inmates on the road. Another one was a kind of evangelical song with a preacher leading a choir of people mourning the death of a young boy who was shot and killed. And so it kind of it enters us into the South and into the kind of boiling pot of race and racial issues that still go on there. And this one was when we were going that area too. We just thought that we had to honor the Latino immigrant experience and not tell a story that's like, oh, woe is me about going on, but a story that I thought very much Brett captured it beautifully, like he always does. But a moment that reflected what I grew up with, what I saw my parents doing. That my parents, when my dad got his first job, when my dad was working as a night manager at a store, like that was the best thing that could happen because that was the beginning of the American dream. Everything was a step up. And we had a beautiful moment at Goodspeed with it. This was our costumer, Tracy Christensen. Man, she got us in rehearsal that day. She had him, they had their backpacks and they're getting ready for work in the morning, and she's putting on her apron, and then he pulled out his Walmart vest and put on his greeter vest. And it just made you stop and think for a second, like the person that you walk by at Walmart that greets you hello at the front of the door, that's the beginning of their American dream. They are so grateful for that job right there, and the things we just miss. So it was great to be able to create a musical moment of that.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll talk a little bit about musical style since she asked about that. So I wanted to find something that was rooted in like Mexican folk music, and it's not quite because I knew we wouldn't have like horns and that sort of stuff, so I wasn't quite going full into like mariachi world. So I was just kind of exploring different regions, and so I found something that had like a lot of guitar and string, and that was sort of the sound world that I wanted to utilize. But Eric also mentioned that prisoner, the female prisoner moment, and they sing a song called All Over Again, Do It All Over Again. And so this was actually a reprise of that song. It's just called De Nuevo, which means in Spanish, again. And the whole point of the song is like, we get to do our life over again. There's something sort of new happening in this moment. And so it's a reflective moment of that first thing in Act 1. And it was a fun challenge for me as a lyricist to rhyme Spanish and English. So I was very happy to take that challenge. And it also just gives a sort of a new musical palette in this part of the country where that type of music is very prevalent. And what happens is at the end of that, in the concert you saw Lynette, who plays the woman in that duet, says, and this is how we came to this country. And at the end of that, she's telling Andrew that story, and he is gaining that information. And so that's sort of the kind of fun surprise. You're watching this episodic thing take place, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh wow, that's how it connects to our main character.
So for people who are scratching their head saying, what are they talking about? If you Google the concert, you will hear this beautiful song and understand why it's so interesting. Okay, we have one more question, and then Brett, we're gonna hear another song, right? Annika Chapin wants to know how you both look so handsome. When at best, she looks like Gollum on Corner.
She does not look like Gollum. That is not true.
I have been watching the online, on Insta story. I know you do not look like Gollum, Annika.
All right, so Brett, you're gonna sing us a song, right? Okay, you want to? What's it from?
So it is from that musical podcast that I was telling you about. I'm going to try to work some magic here and see if I do this correctly. And I want this to go to, I think it's.
Okay, can you set it up for us? Tell us.
Oh, I will. I just want to make, can you hear me over here now? Is this where my voice is coming from?
Yep, you sound good.
And make sure that I can hear you guys. Can you talk real quick?
Oh, I can talk, yes. Can you hear me?
Yeah, okay, no, I want this to come through.
There we go.
I'm not going to join you in the song, though.
No, I know you're not going to in the song. And now I'm going to test to make sure you guys can all hear. If I play this piano, can you hear that?
Yes.
Amazing. Okay. Technology is magic.
Until it's
So-
not.
Until it's not. So we're gonna give this a shot. So this song is it's from the podcast that I mentioned, and the main story follows an 18-year-old girl in the Northwoods of Minnesota who, after the sort of tragic death of her brother in the nearby national forest, she starts to seek out the survival skills from this enigmatic recluse who lives out in the woods. And one of the main relationships in the story is this girl and her mother, who is grappling with having just lost a son and not wanting to sort of lose her daughter. And so giving her the sort of freedom to explore her grief and sort of do what she needs to do in order to, you know, feel whole again.
Okay, am I back?
You're
Yes.
back. What on earth happened?
I think my computer got scared and hid.
Oh, no. There's a question for you, Eric, in the meantime.
So let me continue setting it up. So I was saying it's about the relationship of the daughter and the mother. And so in the middle of the story, there's a bit of a betrayal. And so the mother sort of has this moment where she's like, I don't know who this girl is. You know, this is upsetting to me. And then the daughter sort of does another big courageous act and sort of shows her who she is now that she's becoming, you know, she's a 17-year-old girl, now that she's sort of becoming somebody, her own person. And the mother witnesses this and sings this song that will hopefully be able to play for you, called I Know This Girl. And yeah, that's the setup.
All right. Michael Fling's still trying to get it set up. We're not sure that you sent it to us, Brett. Did you send it to
Okay.
us? Okay.
I can email it to you, or I can try to play it.
Why don't
Whichever.
you try to play it? Because we're going to be tight on time here in a minute. I don't want to keep people. And if that doesn't work, we'll talk to you about whether or not we might be able to share it with people.
Okay. Okay.
Thank
So,
you.
Michael, I think in order to do this, I need to share my screen. Is that kosher? Am I okay to do that? Do I have that ability?
You are good to do that.
Everything the screen. Okay, here we go. So, and I want to. Can you hear it?
Yes.
Oh, that's the wrong song. Here, this is the right song.
The way she took charge, like she knew what to do. It's so strange when you witness an instant your daughter becomes someone new. Who was this girl? Who is this girl? She was standing her ground. She was fearless and free. She almost resembled the kind of a woman that I've tried to be. I knew this girl, I knew this girl. She's the baby I clung to, the child whose eyes gave me strength to make choices I knew must be made. She's the girl for whom I tried to live like a woman that she could aspire to be. And look at her now, she's inspiring me. This is the kid that I read each night, would grow up courageous and smart, knowing when she should follow the rules and when she should follow her heart. The girl that she is the person I always expected my daughter to be. I guess I forgot, that's what I taught her to be. She knows right from wrong. She's aware of the rules. Now I can see that we're built differently. Still, I gave her the tools, and look who she is, how far she can go. She's a I'm so lucky to know.
That's beautiful. Thank you so much. Thanks for
World premiere. World premiere.
I haven't even heard this.
world premiere. That's a big deal. That's
Yeah.
when did you write that song?
When did I write it?
Yes.
I think last year at some point.
Okay. You didn't write it like yesterday.
No, it's not that fresh.
Just haven't put it out into the universe yet.
Yeah.
It's beautiful. It's beautiful. And I look forward to hearing more about the whole show, or more of the whole show. Yeah. Okay. We have kept you guys longer than we said we would, so I should let you hop off.
We have
You got nowhere else to be.
There is nowhere to go.
Well, but thank you so much for joining us and sharing what's going on with you in this moment. We miss you both. It was such a joy to work with you and to produce Passing Through. We were just so proud of it. So we're excited to see what's going to come next for it. So thank you for being with us. To our audience tonight, thank you. So many of you have reached out to check on Goodspeed and on our staff. Really means so much to us. Everybody's well. Most of our staff is furloughed currently. Some people laid off. About 120 artists lost contracts as a result of this crisis. Our box office staff is contacting people in the process of it now to see what you want to do about your tickets. And if you are in a position to consider donating your ticket refund back to Goodspeed, we will be very, very grateful and would appreciate you making that choice. If you want to do more, you can go to goodspeed.org and make a gift. Next week at this very same time, we have exciting guests, David Hine and Irene Sankoff, the writers of Come From Away, that was in Goodspeed's 2013 Festival of New Musicals, and then went on to become an international hit, currently dark all over the world right now. But it'll be back, it will be back, are gonna be with me to talk about what else they're working on. Come From Away has eaten up a lot of their lives since that time, but they've got a lot of other interesting projects in the hopper, so we're gonna hear about them. And we also have a really special event coming up next Tuesday night. The invitation to that is going to go out to members in the email tomorrow. You're going to have a chance to meet our new music director, Adam Souza, via Zoom. We won't plan any complicated music, so we won't have the same problems we had tonight. And then we're going to be launching a cool new series that looks back on some of our greatest hits. So all of that's coming. We got a lot going on. So thank you for being with us, Brett and Eric. Thank you so much. Please stay well.
You too.
Run into you in Hell's Kitchen sometime.
Sure. One day.
Okay. Bye.
Bye.
Take care. Stay safe.